This administration has been aggressive in pursuing leaks. That's putting it lightly. My next guest has been looking at that issue for his latest documentary. It's called War on Whistleblowers, and it takes a critical look at the Obama administration's role in pursuing those who decide to go public with sensitive information. This impacts not only the whistleblowers, but the journalists covering the story.
The impact of this administration's aggressiveness in the national security arena has had an extraordinary chilling effect. The number of people who have indicated to us they wish they could talk, but they can't because they're so afraid of what could happen to them. It's a terrible thing for our democracy.
We're joined now by the producer and the director of the film, Robert Greenwald. He's also the president and founder of Brave New Foundation. Robert, thanks so much for being here. What's your reaction to the Justice Department obtaining phone records of Associated Press journalists? Were you surprised?
Well, I was angry initially, and unfortunately, the last year of research that we've done on war on whistleblowers, this is a systemic, continuing problem. It's not a one-off, and it's not an accident, sadly. It has been policy by the White House, by the administration, and it's an effort to silence and scare whistleblowers and to get the press to be quiet and do what it wants them to do. The national security state doesn't want anything getting out.
Now, Attorney General Holder argued that this was a very serious leak. It put the American people in harm's way. What would your response to that be?
Well, my response would be that this is unfortunately what the administration continues to do. It tells us a little bit, and it says, but we can't let you know anymore. It's the same thing with drones, Jake. They'll say, well, we've killed bad guys, but there's no evidence or no proof. The AP is saying this is a year-old story about a foiled plot. Now, how that coincides with what Holder is saying is something we need to know and we should know. But they keep falling behind and using secrecy when it suits them. And also, let's be clear, there's a very substantive difference between whistleblowers and leakers. And leaking is for self-serving purposes. Whistleblowers are people who come forward in an effort to tell the truth and have no personal gain whatsoever, as we saw in our film with example after example.
So, Robert, lastly, before I let you go, explain to viewers why they should care. To a lot of them, they might think, look, the government is trying to protect us. Reporters just want good stories. They're not motivated by anything other than their own self-interest themselves. Why should viewers care about this issue?
Well, I think people should care for a couple of reasons. One is there's a great line, democracy is not a spectator sport. So people should care because they need to get involved. You should care because whistleblowing and the secrecy of the military-industrial complex affects us and affects our real ability to be a democracy. And then there's a very practical reason, again, that we show in the film, which is how are our dollars being spent? It's whistleblowers who come forward and saying money's being misused. It's not making us safer. It's being wasted or there's fraud. We know the institutions and the large corporations that are spending these dollars are not going to come forth and give us this information willingly. So again, the whistleblowers are heroes who we should be celebrating.
All right, Robert Greenwald, and the documentary is War on Whistleblowers. Thank you so much.